Have you ever wondered why, no matter how hard you try, it feels like you're running in place? You set goals, you read the books, you even try to think positive, but somehow your life doesn't really change. Maybe you're ambitious, maybe you're disciplined, but you keep hitting invisible walls. What if the real problem isn't what you're not doing, but the habits you already have? Habits so common, so ordinary, that you don't even notice they're there. Today, we're going to uncover the 7 habits that are secretly holding you back. These aren't the usual bad habits you hear about. They're the sneaky, silent ones, the habits hiding in plain sight. And here's the good news. Once you see them, you can change them. So grab a notebook, get comfortable, and let's find out what's really keeping you stuck. Let's start with the first, and maybe the most dangerous habit: busyness. Are you always busy but rarely feel accomplished? You run from task to task, emails, messages, errands, to-do lists. But at the end of the day, you're exhausted and feel like nothing truly important got done. Here's the truth. Being busy is not the same as being productive. In fact, busyness is often just an escape. We fill every minute with activity, so we don't have to face discomfort, big decisions, or difficult emotions. Have you ever asked yourself, what did I actually accomplish today? The busyness trap keeps you focused on quantity, not quality. Studies show that our brains get addicted to the little dopamine hits from ticking off easy tasks. So we focus on what's urgent, not what's truly important. How do you break the habit? Ask yourself, if I could only do one thing today that would make everything else easier or unnecessary, what would it be? Schedule time for real priorities, not just stuff. Learn to say no to things that don't matter. The second secret habit: perfectionism. Do you ever find yourself obsessing over tiny details, redoing work, or putting off projects because they're not quite right? Maybe you think, if I just get this perfect, then I'll share it. But days, weeks, or months pass, and nothing gets done. Perfectionism isn't about having high standards. It's about fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. The problem is, perfectionism hides behind the mask of quality, but in reality, it leads to procrastination, missed opportunities, and unfinished dreams. Think of all the ideas that never made it out of your notebook, all the projects you abandoned because they didn't feel flawless. How do you break the habit? Embrace good enough as a win. Remember, you can always improve later, but you can't improve what you never start. Set deadlines for version 1 and stick to them. Third on our list, comparison. We all do it, scrolling through social media, looking at people who seem to have it all. You see their highlight reels, the perfect job, the dream relationship, the amazing vacation. And suddenly, your own life feels small. But here's what you forget. You're comparing your behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. Comparison doesn't motivate us, it drains us. It creates jealousy, shame, and sometimes even resentment. Studies show that people who compare themselves constantly are more likely to be anxious and depressed. What to do instead? Track your own progress, not someone else's. Unfollow or mute accounts that make you feel bad about yourself. Remember, everyone struggles with something you can't see. Habit number 4 is one almost everyone struggles with: saying yes to everything. Are you a people pleaser? Do you find yourself agreeing to things you don't want to do just to avoid conflict or disappointment? Saying yes feels good in the moment. It keeps the peace, but over time, it drains your energy, fills your schedule, and leaves you no time for what really matters. It's not selfish to say no, it's self-respect. Every yes to someone else is a no to your own priorities. How to fix it? Practice saying, "Let me get back to you," instead of agreeing right away. Make a list of your top 3 priorities and check each request against them. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Fifth, and maybe the most invisible habit: negative self-talk. Think about the way you talk to yourself in your head. Would you ever speak to a friend that way? "Why are you so lazy? You'll never get this right. Other people are just better than you." Negative self-talk doesn't just hurt your mood, it programs your brain to believe you can't change. But here's the secret: you don't have to believe every thought you think. How to change it? Notice when negative thoughts appear. Name them. That's just a thought. Replace "I can't" with "I'm learning" or "I'm working on it." Write down one positive thing you did each day. Habit number 6, waiting for motivation. How many times have you said, "I'll start when I feel motivated"? Here's the reality: motivation comes and goes, it's unreliable. Action comes first, motivation comes after. The secret? Start before you feel ready. Do something tiny and let momentum build. How to hack this habit? Commit to 2 minutes of action no matter how you feel. Use the countdown method. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Remember, consistency creates motivation, not the other way around. Last, but possibly the biggest, fear of failure. How many ideas have you killed before you even tried? How many dreams have you abandoned because you might not succeed? Fear of failure keeps you stuck where it feels safe, but safe often means stuck. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every success story is built on a pile of mistakes. How to face fear? Redefine failure. It's feedback, not a dead end. Celebrate your attempts, not just your wins. Remember, every time you fail, you get closer to getting it right. So which of these habits is secretly holding you back? Maybe it's just one. Maybe it's a mix of several.
But here's the truth. Seeing these habits is the first step to changing them. Don't try to fix everything at once. Pick one. Focus on noticing when it happens. Practice a new response. Be kind to yourself. Change is hard, but it's possible. Remember, you're not alone. Everyone, yes, even the successful people you look up to, struggle with these habits at some point. But now you have an advantage. You can spot them. You can